I'm Killian Sheridan, and welcome to the Sheriff Show with Lewis Capaldi. Killian Sheridan, and welcome to the Sheriff Show with Lewis Capaldi. Welcome to the Sheriff Show. I had to check the name there. I'm Killian Sheridan, and welcome to the Sheriff Show with Lewis Capaldi. And would you believe we finally got him? Ryan Cullen.
They're going to be so disappointed that I'm not Lewis Capaldi.
What are Capaldi fans? There's, well, you're NFL expert. You'll know about Swifties now.
They're really hamming. They're really hamming that shit up.
Yeah. So Capaldi, I don't know what if he has a name for his fans.
I mean, Capaldi's kind of runs off the tongue a little bit, but Caps, nah. No, it sounds like he's been shot.
Lures, cap. No, there's words there that could be very dangerous.
Yes.
I'm not going to say it. Ryan, thank you very much for coming on.
It's great to be here.
Stepping up in place of Lewis in his absence.
Yeah. Where the fuck is he? I know people that know him too, so I'm going to go get him. I
don't have his excuse lined up this week. Normally he's got a pretty good excuse.
Yeah.
No, he's golfing. He's taken up golf recently. Yeah.
I could tell. I'd say he'd be terrible at golf.
I went for so I'm a big golf.
Yeah.
Trying to be a big golfer, and one of my friends, shout out Conor O'Neill. I go to him for lessons.
Okay, yeah.
And I went for one Friday evening, and he texted me like Thursday night. He was like, "Oh, you'll never believe who I'm going out with tomorrow, 11:30.
Yeah.
Tea time with one Lewis Mark Capaldi." He was out with his friends. No, actually, I don't have the photo. It was on his story. But so in the morning he played around with Lewis, and then in the evening he had me for a lesson. So we got the full. I mean, we just missed each other to go over.
Great.
To go over the planning of the podcast and stuff. But we were kind of like, in a roundabout way, we were together.
Yes.
In golfing spirit, we were together.
Spirit,
yeah. So his excuse I don't have, sorry.
That's all right. I'll find it.
It's
I've tried to get into golf too.
With success?
It's so funny because I used to play golf. I used to play golf when I was a kid in a place beside my house, which was a pitch and putt. It was a really good pitch and putt.
Yeah.
And it was owned by Shay Given's dad.
Wow.
Right? So
Mr. Given.
Mr. Given, Seamus Given, right? And the fucking thing was class. And basically, I was there every summer and everything, but obviously had no technique. But I've managed to keep it. I could play, right? And then
you can hit a ball.
Yeah. So people kept watching me. Then when I only recently, about 2 years ago, with another comedian, Daniel Sloss, and Daniel Sloss really wanted to get into golf, and I was living with him, and he was like, "Come here, I'll pay for your lessons if you come with me because I don't want to do them alone." And I go, "Perfect, no problem." So I go down to play golf, start doing the driving range and stuff like that. And with whatever membership we got, we were basically told, like, you get a couple of free lessons. And I can hit it like, 200, right?
Yeah.
But
that's pretty good.
But it doesn't make sense, right? So the guy came up to me that is going to be teaching us next week, and he just went, "I don't know where the fuck to start with you. You're cack-handed.
Yeah.
You've got like a bit of a penguin stance." He goes, "You hit it far, but your arms are tiny. You don't use your hips. And you don't use your shoulders. So I don't know where the power's coming from. It doesn't make sense biology-wise, physics-wise, and whatever.
But it works.
It works, yeah. He was trying to fix some bits, but he was also like, you're too late. You've just done this all wrong since you were a child. I'll learn some bits. We won't fix the thing. We can't fix the cack-handed thing."
You should have said to him, "Well, how about I can teach you some stuff
I'll
here.
Teach you some
I
shit.
can teach you how to hit it 200 yards despite all of those...
Despite everything.
All of those faults you're pointing out."
Oh, God. We were at Daniel's actual stag in Vegas at the start of the year. And they've like a Top Golf thing.
Yeah.
And I had taken 4 edibles
Okay.
before I went to play Topgolf.
Right.
And I was chatting so much shit to people. There's a couple of people, like people.
How was your golf though?
Oh, do you know what it was? I would have been a disaster if I wasn't acting like such a dickhead the whole way through it. Do you know, like there's a guy that's really good at golf. I eventually lost him at the time, but for 3/4 of it, he was just getting really mad because all I would do would be like betting him stuff before everything. I was screaming, laughing because I was on another planet. But some reason they go, "Where do you see this dickhead's swing?" He was bringing people over to see my swing, right? And then when I would ping it, I'm glad that it works for a while, but he was just like, he keeps getting points. It's not great top golf. Sometimes you're just getting points for, like, half time I wasn't really aiming. Yeah. Just like hole in one, I go, great, I was aiming at that one. But I was just hitting the distance. So I was taking a big lead, and he was like I wouldn't say semi-professional golfer, but he took it real serious. And he was just boiling with rage. I just kept calling it, like, because I know Jim Furyk has a weird swing, so I just kept going, "Call me Jim Furyk," and lining stuff up. Great time.
Yeah.
But really, the guy that went to that next day goes, "I don't know what to do. Nothing makes sense." He was very upset with me. Basically, the golf trainer. I feel like I was against everything that he teaches, but it worked. So he was like, I don't even know if it's. And he goes, "You're 33. I think you're past the point of."
You're set in your ways.
Yeah, you're set in your ways. Yeah. Don't do it.
Yeah. Plus, you keep fucking eating throughout my lesson.
Yeah. That was one off. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't necessarily think that that's a good idea. Taking edibles before a golf. Yeah. Well, before top golf.
Say no to drugs.
Yeah. Say no to drugs.
Clear my name.
And golf.
Clear my good image.
Yes.
And penguin stances and
cack-handedness.
Yeah.
Which is apparently
cack-handedness is just a golf term for how you hold the club. It sounds a lot more sinister than what it actually is.
Yeah. So does penguin-footed, really.
Yeah.
Waddling about the bar.
I suppose so.
Yeah.
Shay Givens from Lifford. No.
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah.
That's why it sounded familiar when you said it earlier.
Yeah. He was from just.
Not to say you haven't put Lifford on the map also.
No, I'm third.
But who's second?
Mickey Joe Hart, who represented Ireland in the Eurovision.
So he is.
So I'm
Speaking of another Michael Hart.
Okay, yes. He's back in.
No.
Not
the Michael Hart you're thinking of.
The guy who owns the bar in Lifford?
No.
That's 4,
no.
Right?
Well, then here's 5. Michael Hart, shout out to Michael Hart, who the David Beckham documentary that's just as they say dropped on Netflix, edited by Donegal man Michael Hart. Not the Michael Hart that people might think of.
Okay, right.
Also, a lot of Scottish people watch this, so will have no idea
what we're talking about.
Who the Donegal Michael Hart is. Yeah,
I mean the 4th one was literally just a guy that owns a bar in Lifford, so they'll definitely nobody in Lifford barely knows that.
Actually, Donegal's. More people here would know Donegal than they do Dublin.
Okay, right, yeah. In fairness, yeah.
When people are like, "Oh, whereabouts you from?" I have to think of, right. Well, I don't go and say Ireland because they're like, "Oh, well, yeah, I knew you were from Ireland."
Yeah.
And then if I say County Cavan, they're like, "Where?"
Yeah.
So I've pinpointed it now to just because I know everyone here will know Dublin and Donegal. So I just say, if you're going from Dublin to Donegal, I'm in the middle.
It is, yeah.
And that's
it, basically.
That's my description of County Cavan for any non-geographical whiz kids on Ireland.
About Ireland, yeah. So, no, I've a while to catch up with them too.
So you're from Donegal?
Yes. Right at the border.
In case people didn't deduce.
Well, yeah, the accent in fairness does throw people off because I did live in Dublin for about 10 years and then I'm in Scotland now. And do you know, like there's so many accents in Donegal because most people, I think when they think Donegal, they think of Daniel O'Donnell. But Donegal's a nice place, right? 95% of it's really nice, but I'm in the 5% that's very bloody Sunday. You know, like I'm from the border town. Everything else is lovely oceans and whatever, but I'm in the not so pleasant.
You've got a bit of grit.
A bit of grit.
Bit of grit to it.
Yeah.
Is that the word?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
It does. It works.
Maybe.
We had barracks.
Yeah. So you've been over here for the last 5 years.
Five, yeah,
maths,
five, yeah.
And you're based in Edinburgh.
Yeah,
Do you do most of your shows then in Edinburgh?
No, I suppose like, there's always like I always sometimes would be like, great if we get weekends in Edinburgh. Obviously,
Sorry, I don't know if I mentioned you're a comedian at the start.
yeah, well, yeah.
If I didn't,
Comedy. That's what we're talking about.
Comedian, yeah.
It'd be great if
no,
they
you
were
did
like,
because
what
you
fucking gigs
spoke.
is he talking
You
about?
spoke about a comedian. It'll be in the description anyway.
Yeah. No, like, yeah, if I can stay in Edinburgh, it's easier than not traveling, considering how much trains cost now.
Because I saw you in doing that show with James Gardner.
Yeah, we were trying
last
to
year
figure
in Glee, and we couldn't figure out who the other person was.
Do you know what's funny? Usually, if people would ask me, I saw you and I have no idea because I do it all the time. But when you went James Gardner in the Glee in Glasgow, I was just like, oh no, I do remember that.
Well, as soon as I started saying it, I was like, there's a good chance you won't remember this because.
Usually, but when you said James and thing, I went, no, I definitely do because I remember it was a good weekend. I remember, I can't remember who the hell was who else was on. It will come to me. I'm going to wake up in the middle of the night screaming. It was fucking.
Me and Jodie thoroughly enjoyed your set that day.
Horrible comedy.
You're how would you be described as like?
It's like dark one.
Ruthless. No, not ruthless.
Yeah. Cold and cruel.
I made a little
cold and cruel comedy.
I made a little comment or a little note here that I wanted this to be the most negative episode ever.
Yeah, Jesus.
And then I was like, I don't know, careful what I wish for.
Yeah, no, that happens. Like, I used to get. Do you know? I didn't mean to be negative. Like,
no, I didn't. I don't know why I put down negative. Actually,
no. You're 100% right.
It was dark.
It was it is negative. It's mostly about death and death and misery. But when I started, I didn't.
And the joy in that.
I didn't, but but I didn't actually specifically mean to do it. I remember one of my first gigs. I did what I thought was funny, and then did it for a few times. Every time I cough, go, "Whew, that was rough," and I'd be like, "Oh Christ!" In my head, I didn't think I was dark.
Yeah,
and then obviously I kind of looked at it and go, in fairness,
we eaten those sweets before.
I wasn't into them then. That was only stag party stuff.
Vegas. That was Vegas.
That's Vegas.
That was Vegas. That was golf. That's golf.
What? That's just golf, isn't it? Yeah, like that. I watched a bit of the Ryder Cup this year when the guy ran across the green and jumped into the water.
Yeah,
fair play to him.
Yeah,
he's probably shot though at the back one.
So would you come off stage and like be complimented by people being like?
Sometimes they don't know.
Like that was
a bit rough.
That was dark.
I like it.
That was.
No, I think mine's is so. I think there's.
I mean, it's very funny. Also,
dark.
It's not just.
Yeah, you know.
It's not just dark and weird stuff. It's actually funny. Yeah.
It just becomes a rally eventually. Yeah. No. You get some people kind of come up and they're like, they don't know how to take you. They're kind of like, is he always that miserable? And I'm like, I mean, what I talk about, but I don't think I am cold on stage. I would say I'm colder on stage.
Yeah, you're much warmer in person there.
Yeah. I think what happens is people think there's other comedians that do dark material, and it would get them in a little bit more trouble because it seems like it's from them. I think mine's is cold.
Yeah,
and a lot of it's actual just set up punchline.
Jokes.
Yeah. So I feel like some people, I don't get complained about as much as you'd think, because I think people go, all right. Like if I started my sets going, I'm from Donegal, but you know what's hilarious? When children die, they'd be like, what the fuck? But if I just start off with a children dying joke, they kind of go, okay. It's a setup of a joke.
Okay, yeah.
You know, they don't know. Yeah, I feel like if I started opening up to...
Plus you also laugh after you say them.
I have done that, yeah. People say...
Am I right?
Yeah, sometimes, you get a little wry one and they kind of go... Oh, he knows.
Yeah, he
knows he's not he's not that damaged.
Yeah.
No, so you get a lot of that type of stuff, but I didn't really specifically ask to do that type of material, and then it was just what I thought was funny, and then after like a couple
Did you
of
start
months,
off doing it like that?
yeah, basically, yeah, I just wrote jokes, and I ran in, how I started comedy was I ran a newspaper in college.
Okay.
Because I was fucking up the actual college.
You're the Irish Dave Portnoy.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So basically, I started doing that, and there was a satire page.
Yeah.
And I just wrote like stupid headlines, which were basically like jokes. And I go, oh, I don't even remember why I decided to do comedy. I just remember my first gig.
Yeah.
I don't ever remember going, I want to be a comedian. Just remember the first one. And it went well. And then I was like, this is fucking easy. I'll be in live at the Apollo tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then the second, third, and fourth were dire.
And
they were
then
just
you're
silence.
sitting here doing podcasts like this.
Yeah, I love podcasts like this.
Shout out to your podcasts.
Oh yeah, we do one with Mark Nelson now. He's also I keep saying he's from Glasgow. He's not from Glasgow. He's from Dumfries. I think people just, he seems to be based in Glasgow. He lives in Glasgow, but you know.
Shout out to my friend Bren Duffy, who asked me during the summer, all right, pal, you still with Dumfries or wherever you are?
With Dumfries?
I like, cheers, but
they have a team?
Not quite. I have no idea. I just know I wasn't at them. I was.
Well, Mark supports Queen of the South. Is that that must be nearby, or is he just mad into Queen of the South? I have no fucking idea. Yeah.
No, Queen of the South is way down.
What the fuck?
Queen of the South, what, like an hour south of Glasgow? More?
You think that?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna find him for that.
That's, and speaking of films.
Yeah.
I pride myself on being a very good judge of films based off the little poster or picture of them.
Really?
Yeah. Rarely will I watch a bad film.
Just because of the picture.
Just from the picture, maybe the cast. Sometimes the cast, it's an easy one. If it's big names, it's usually going to be watchable.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm confident in myself that a lot of films I can just off the name and the poster or the little thumbnail,
brilliant,
I can be like, yeah, this will be good. And 8 times out of 10, I'm right.
I wish you had that. I wish I had that skill, because so many times I think I would kind of have that and end up watching one of the worst. I saw one about sand eating people recently.
Really?
Like people just run across a beach and then
what was it called?
You'd think it was like Dune, that or Tremors, which was already like they've both covered the whole sand monster. Yeah. This one was just. I think this was just Dune. Called The Sand. So this really isn't me. In fairness, I think you would have looked at that.
Off that, I would have said no.
No, yeah.
A film called The Sand. No, no. Now The Beach. That's different.
The Beach. That's a good film.
Like,
yeah.
I watched one the other day. It was about a guy, and he gets mistaken identity as being a terrorist. Oh, right. Accused, I think it's called. Just I know, very good.
I was about to go very in the name of the Father. No. And the Accused. I've never seen Accused.
I think it's new, just out on Netflix.
Oh, okay, right.
Good, very tense.
Good,
nice.
Yeah, it sounds tense.
It's I'd recommend a go.
Accused.
Shout out Accused or The Accused.
Have you ever been wrongly accused of anything?
I got accused of being a Georgios Samaras tribute act. I just done a podcast for Celtic.
Yeah.
There, and which was out today, or yesterday, whenever you're listening to this. And just had a little look to see how it was doing, and one of the comments was, is he trying to be a Samaras tribute act? I was like,
yeah.
It's not an insult.
It's
really.
It's not really an insult. It's like you get bad. I get bad ones sometimes. You know.
Really? Like.
Oh, someone written like he looks like he's taking half his AIDS medication.
Fuck's sake.
Stuff like that. You know. Usually, I remember. I had
to wait for you to laugh there before I could laugh.
I got.
Sorry, for listeners only.
I got
Ryan
lifted.
looks like he's only taken half
Yeah,
his
I
age
do.
now.
Yeah, it's just basically skinny and bald.
But can
that's
hit a golf
basically it.
ball 200 yards.
But I can hit a golf
you go,
ball
yeah.
200 yards with the worst swing you'll ever hear, or you'll ever see and hear, I suppose. No, I got lifted in Sydney airport for being a sex trafficker.
Wow.
Yeah, obviously I'm not going to break it. It goes, and they were right. Yeah, they saw that I was like with two friends.
Say no to sex trafficking.
Yeah,
by the
say
way,
no to
everyone.
sex trafficking. Obviously, imagine.
Yeah.
It'd be great. I'm mad for it. Make a lot of money.
So how did that happen?
They thought, I don't know if I matched the description or whatever. I genuinely thought I was in like a prank show for a minute.
Really?
So I said something worse. I got brought in, right? And I was going to Sydney with two friends, but they were both girls. And they were just like, and they brought them two in and separately interviewed them two. Like,
Yeah.
what is right? They were in tears laughing, going, what, Ryan? And what happened was, I was like, what's going on? And they're like, right, you're in here, you're in the side room. And they went, I made a joke going like, I was like, hey, and how do you know these two girls about the sex? I was like, have you seen them? I wouldn't stand to make much money. And nobody laughed. They were deafening in silence. I go, oh shit, this isn't the,
Fuck's
And then they were like, at that time I was a waiter and a comedian. Like it was just starting off kind of comedy. And they were like, can you prove your job? And I couldn't really prove that I was a waiter.
Yeah.
Because like, oh, bring out some plates and I'll show you.
Show me a tray.
Yeah, show me a tray and I'll carry it perfectly or whatever. So I had to it was the saddest way to get out of sex trafficking, where I had to show them my Twitter account.
Really?
With like 100 followers going, it says comedian here and this is me and here's my YouTube video.
No way.
And they were like, okay, I think we might have the wrong person. They kind of checked it out. I had to sit there for another hour and then they were like, right, you're not the person we're looking for.
Was it because of you looked like someone, or maybe like the flight you're on, or
I think they didn't really say, but I think so. Yeah.
What's that show in the airport?
Border
control.
Border control. That's great.
We were flying through it once, and they were filming it
in Australia.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've watched
just like in the queue praying.
Yeah,
for like
the camera not
to be on it or something.
Yeah,
like,
to be on it. Yeah.
A dirty pair of football boots or something.
Yeah. It's always, I love the people that really go out of their way. I saw someone that had loads of cocaine encased in a candle. Like they had managed to make a candle around the cocaine. But I mean, it looks dodgy when someone opens your bag and you don't have underwear. You just have loads of candles.
Yeah.
They're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Just bringing candles to my mate. They're like, well, it's obviously going to
candle pilgrimage.
A candle pilgrimage to wherever. Yeah.
We because when I went there I was in New Zealand, and we'd always, every away game we'd play in Australia, and every time you're flying in, we'd have to clean every bit of dirt off our football boots, because it would be considered as bringing in foreign soil. And they would actually check. So going through the border control and stuff, that actually inspect your football boots to make sure they're clean.
Fucking hell.
And if you didn't declare you had them, I think it was like $100 fine or something.
It
must be more than that. Anyway, I don't know.
I feel like if they were going to fine you for that, I feel like what they're saying is the consequences is bringing in a different type of, you'll kill all the plants or something in New Zealand or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It was. I'm sure it was under foreign soil. It was like as if you're bringing foreign soil. A soil terrorist. That's
a terrorist. A topography.
Yeah,
terrorist.
But it was. It was bizarre. And then it was just all the time. Every time you're just thinking of that show.
Yeah.
Of like the old. You see all like the Chinese old women.
It's always Chinese old
bringing
women.
in like fucking loads of bird claws and stuff.
Yeah,
a dead bird's head.
I didn't have to declare this, did I?
Yeah.
I feel like you really do.
Playing dumb.
Yeah. This is a couple of pheasants. Do you know, like, the worst thing and speaking of Chinese, this was like the most racist thing I've ever seen. It was in New York City. It was in JFK Airport.
I'm glad you said seen and not said there.
No, God, yeah. Imagine I was going to drop that. Yeah. Can we bleep that? No, I was trying to get into New York, JFK Airport, and I'm going in one of those J1s, the student visas, 2009. And I'm waiting in, and the security guard is like, Dublin flight, in with the SARS people, right? And I was like, remember the fucking SARS disease or whatever? And it was like, in with the SARS people. And I was like, do they have SARS? He just meant Asians, a flight from Beijing.
No way.
And I was like, for a moment, everybody was like, does everyone have SARS? Why would we be put in with the SARS? And then we realized, oh, America. Oh, he's just been a mad racist. In with the SARS people who just meant Asian. And then when we were walking up, you had to pick your line to get into JFK, the people checking all the visas and whatever. The guy in my line stood up and yelled over 500 people or so, just went, is there anybody fucking American here anymore?
No way.
And I was like, what? That was my first taste of America.
Fucking hell. I remember going over to America and flew through JFK. Yeah. And in Dublin airport, you do the pre-clearance. Yeah. I don't know if it was back then, but now you do it. And has it always been like that?
Yeah, I think so.
So in Dublin
in my
airport,
head I do, yeah.
Dublin airport, Paul, you do all your security with American police in Dublin airport. Yes. So you arrive into America and you're treated as an American passenger. So you're going through normal security. And I remember I was going over on trial to Seattle Sounders. So I was going over to train for like 2 weeks and getting questioned by the guy where they're interrogating. They're probably used to young people like going over students to stop them going over and just to work for the summer and come back in. And so he's asking me all this, what are you going over to do? Are you working or just leisure? And I was like, I'm not too sure yet. And he was like, what do you mean you're not too sure yet? I might be working. I'm not sure. I'm going over to see, it's a trial. And he was like, wait, for who? What's all the details? Ended up having to get the name of the person from the club, phone them up and everything. And
God, yeah.
I got in, didn't get the trial, didn't get the contract.
Didn't get the contract, but you got in.
I got in, yeah.
They do like that thing. Did you have to do them?
Got a waiter job.
yeah, exactly.
Cash in hand.
Exactly. No, you know that fucking... they make you do the interview as well, that big serious interview to get the visa before you even get to the airport.
No, because I didn't have to do any of that.
You just had to do
I just had to pass the questions he was asking.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. They made us go to a whole fucking, you had to go to the embassy and do an interview to get the visa. To get to even to Dublin airport past that little part. Yeah,
really? Wow.
Yeah.
I knew a group of guys were going over for the summer, and as most people were doing, they'll go over and work for the summer, get paid in cash, and then funds their summer. Yeah. And they were being questioned about it going over, and the security guy was like, right, so how long are you going for? And they're like, the summer, 2 or 3 months. How are you going to survive? Oh, we're gonna get jobs over there. And the guy was like, do you have a visa? No. Didn't get on. Yeah. And there was like 4 or 5 of them all went, and the guy couldn't get in.
You just shuffled them to the back.
Yeah.
I went in 2009, so that was when the Lehman Brothers crashed. So
timing.
We were fucked. They were just like, there's 800,000 people in Manhattan alone unemployed now, and you're Irish. You're not going to get your social security number for another month, and the only work that you might have a chance getting was construction, and I'm tiny. They didn't know how hard I could hit a golf ball. But they were like, I'm not hiring him. And then he basically, I woke up one morning and I thought that there was a terrorist attack in 2009 because I was in Harlem, was beside the Apollo Theatre, and I woke up one morning and I woke up at midday and everybody was running around the streets in tears. And I went, oh my God, what the fuck have I walked into? It was just Michael Jackson. It was the day Michael Jackson had died. Oh, but when I walked in, the people were wandering around the street in tears. And I was I was looking for smoke, put it like that, anywhere. And then they were just like, oh, Michael Jackson's dead. And they all go up to the Apollo Theatre. And there was fucking 500,000 people there within an hour. But for a while, I thought I'd walked into danger.
It's all, yeah. What's more dangerous?
Yeah, what is more dangerous? If he was alive.
Ask.
I still, in fairness to Michael, I would love to
Michael.
And as I know him, in fairness to Michael now, I'd love to go in his
Mike.
Big Mike. I'd love to go. Don't call him Big Mike.
No.
That feels like he has.
Well,
you go into his playground.
allegedly.
Yeah. I'd love to go into his Neverland ride. I reckon that the actual thing would be class. In fairness. I mean, like, I'm not saying I would. I'd like to if he wasn't there.
Okay, yeah, that's probably.
I'm not going like, oh, you know, it's a fair trade up for what you had
yeah.
to do to get on the, you know, the go arounds or whatever.
Yeah.
The
I think
little roller coaster.
we've nailed our what's that saying? Nailed your thing to the mast. Nailed our nail to the mast. No.
Oh, you've just said this now, and I know what it is, but we're both going to look like idiots now that neither of us can say.
Do you know?
Like
that you've said it. That's our opinion. We've nailed it to the mast. Nailed our opinion to the mast.
Is it just nailed your opinion? I feel like a fucking idiot now. I actually know what you're fucking saying too.
Just trying to say that we've given our opinion. I think that's our Michael Jackson opinion.
Yeah, there's a disclaimer coming across. He has no idea what he's talking about. This is all hearsay. Very well known hearsay. I learned it all in Netflix documentaries.
They're my notes
for
today. I've literally
3.
There's not much, and I've already went through 2 of them.
Perfect. Yeah. We'll see where it goes.
One of them I noticed last week.
Okay.
So what I'll try and do, if I just notice little things, I'll say, right, I can bring that up on the podcast. And I hope. Do you drive?
Oh well, here's one. Yeah, no, I failed my test last week.
Oh really?
For the second time.
Second time. Well, I failed 2 times. Okay. Passed on the third.
Yeah.
What did you fail on?
Well, the first one was not my fault. First one, I got real upset with the guy.
It was the other person who crashed into you. It was their fault.
Yeah, it was their fault. Yeah, it was the guy that got caught under the wheel.
Yeah.
No.
Why was he lying there?
Why was he lying there? He was just, it was just a maneuver, and somebody overtook me and did a dangerous thing, and my guy failed me for saying that I stayed for 10 seconds too long and forced the guy behind me to do something mental. So I got into a massive fight about it. I was like, that's nonsense, because the guy behind me would have failed his test if we were doing a test and you were in his car.
Yeah.
He just did something mental. It's not my fault. And then he was like, oh, I don't know, I think you might have. And I was like, then I overreacted and then started going like, oh my God, was this your first test too? We could
really?
We could have been nervous together. And then I said that he owed me 62 quid. I didn't take it too well. The second time was fine. He made a judgment call that I was slightly too close to a car when going into a lane. He went, oh. Yeah. And I was like, I'm already past, like, calm down. We were going 8 miles an hour. Which was harsh, but I wasn't too mad about that, because that was a fair judgment call on his part.
I failed both my first ones on roundabouts. Same thing.
But that was a roundabout, that second one,
Yeah.
How did you feel it? Like,
just going out at the wrong time and stuff, and
shit like that.
Yeah, and then my third one was actually my worst one.
And they were like,
but it was coming up to Christmas, and the guy, it was the same examiner that failed me the first 2, and then on the third one I had a different guy, and he came out before with a Christmas card, and he was a Celtic fan, and it was when I was at Celtic, and he was like, do you mind signing this card for my nephew? And I was like, of course I don't. No. Do you want me to put some money in it as well? And we were. It was
medals and everything.
Yeah, it was in a Mini, and I'd never driven in like bad weather.
Okay.
So I'd never had to put the wipers on.
Oh yeah.
So we ended up driving behind a tractor, and there was a load of shit getting put onto the windscreen, and I was like, I've don't know what to do here. And the guy was like, I think you should maybe put your wipers on. So I've just like flicked a button, and the wipers went, but no water came out or anything. So I was just rubbing shit all over the windscreen.
swearing it in.
So he's had to reach over, do it properly, clear the windscreen. And then he just took me like on a country back road for about 20 minutes. So the whole time I'm thinking, I've failed this. Like, he's just wasting time here and just driving around for the sake of just passing time.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure like on the reversing around the corner, I've hit the curb, like convinced I'd failed. And then at the end of it, it was like, delighted to say you've passed. Well done, Killian. I was like, fucking
Sweet.
I just took it and got out of there. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna try and figure out if I can get an examiner that knows who I am.
That's what you that's what you need to do.
Doing one-liners and everything from trying to drive the car.
I was thinking there, do you ever do stuff and then think about this will be funny for me in the future where I can talk about it or I can get something out of it?
I know a lot of people definitely do. Mine's just so usually straight up jokes that people are like personal experience.
Yeah,
like sometimes I would, like something would happen. Like I used to get a couple from my granddad, like, you know,
okay, yeah.
He would say something hilarious in a thing and I go, all right, that's basically, but it's also pretty much a joke. Not as much as other people. I mean,
I never thought about that actually.
Feeling the test and stuff, I would chat about it in thing or podcasts. But not on stage. Never. Usually not as much as you'd think.
Yeah.
But most comedians definitely would. I think it's just whatever my style is, or just style wise, you know.
Would it give like a pass to go and like any bad situation then they could think of, right, how can I there's a way I can make this funny and I can use it like...
Yeah, in fairness, that would be where more I'd come into if something terrible happened to me.
Okay, yeah.
I would be like, or something really, if there was really sad things that would happen, I'd be like, I'd have a test to myself, could you make that funny?
Okay, yeah.
So like that would be a thing, you know, like if there's something happening in your family, if there was a death or a fucking whatever, as long as it's done like some sort of
tastefully,
smartly, tastefully or cleverly, even cleverly, they go, that's pretty good. Nobody would ever have a problem. Even in my family, if I ever chat about them.
Yeah.
You know, my mum's always like, it's mostly jokes. She goes, that one wasn't really a joke because, you know, this person did die.
Yeah.
And I go, yeah. And they go, but it's good. So that's all right. If it was crap, they'd be like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You know, besmirching the Cullen name. I was like, fucking Twilight did that. Don't worry about it. All the vampires are called Cullen. You looked at, they're like, what are you talking about?
No, I was gonna question it.
Yeah, no, I found out that only when I was a kid on Bebo, when a lot of like emos kept adding me. And I was like, what is happening? But they thought I was like a mad Twilight fan because of my name.
Did you see in the NBA Jimmy Butler?
Oh, with the I've seen the emo hair.
Did you see that, Paul? No. So Jimmy Butler, the NBA player, I think it's his thing every media day they do, and he'll like come out with a new hairstyle, and he done it with like this proper like emo.
Yeah, right down one side.
Spoke like an emo.
Yeah, fucking, great.
Yeah, shout out emos.
Shout out to the.
I went to the Cat House a few weeks ago.
Is it a Cat House, a big emo place?
The Cat House it's like a rock and roll. No, it's not rock and roll. It's a rocker, like heavy metal.
Yeah. If you said rock and roll to them, they would have been upset.
Yeah. Well, no, that would probably insult rock and roll people.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah.
And emo probably would have offended.
Yeah.
The Cat House.
You got to be careful.
People. I was wearing a purple jumper, and that was the most. I was probably dressed the most colorfully. Of the whole place. So me and my friend Tommy went out and played some snooker and pool.
Yeah.
And then he was like, let's just do something, the two of us, like a bit mad and funny.
It's good.
And he was like, have you ever been to the Cat House? I was like, nah. Come on, let's go. We went there for about 20 minutes, half an hour.
Was it good?
Good experience.
Yeah.
Good experience.
Yeah.
Not my kind of music.
Yeah. No, I remember there was a couple. I don't see as many emos as there used to be.
There's not, but there's
but you have to go find them now.
They're blending to be everywhere. In more, yeah.
They're blending in more.
They used to be just the vapors and monster drinkers, but
yeah.
That's becoming more popular now amongst everyone.
It is, yeah. I think I have a theory that like a lot of emo people, if they were 10 years ago, they were emo. Now they're like Twitch people. They listen to heavy metal and drink Monster Energy. Twitchers, yeah.
I find vapors just a little single, like see like walking past a guy in a suit.
Yeah. And I knew where you were going.
And then like a puff of smoke and I just get this mad fucking fruity strawberry smell.
Yeah.
And it's just the weirdest, it just doesn't match up at all.
Lost Marys. Yeah. No, businessman with a, yeah.
I went past one earlier on and at the train station, like nice suit, looked like meant business.
Mm.
And then I just walked through this puff of fucking grapefruit. And I was like,
Yeah.
This
You're
is,
you're not sacking people.
You're
with that.
losing, you're losing credibility.
Yeah. If I wrote that in a script as a character, they would be like, "Nah, can you make that more?"
Can we take a break here? I'm going out for a little vape.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
In the middle of a board meeting.
a wee shot.
As I was saying that, I don't know how I got distracted when I was going to talk about the point I made.
Oh,
that was it. I was talking about my process of, I'll think of something and then that'll be for the podcast.
Okay.
And the thing that I actually thought about was people who put stickers on their cars. No, I asked you about driving if you drove.
Yes.
That was it.
Yeah. No.
So it wouldn't apply to you. Paul, you don't have any stickers on your car? No. That's okay. I think it's the weirdest thing ever for people to put stickers.
It's because they're going out of their way to
on
do
their
it.
car.
Yeah.
Like, do you ever see cars with they'll put the Apple logo?
Aye.
On the outside of their car.
Yeah, I've seen one like not even on the. I've seen one not on like the windscreen.
No, on the back of the car.
Sorry, yes, maybe it's the same fucking
the
guy.
bumper and stuff.
Yeah.
No, I think it's the weirdest thing ever.
Why would you? Yeah,
buying a car and then putting an Apple sticker on it.
Yeah, that's such a boring thing.
Not just Apple, but other.
Yeah, no. The reason why I'm jumping at you is because I've seen an Apple, like the actual Apple logo.
Yeah,
just
I
down
think
by
it's the
like
weirdest
Audi,
thing ever.
Whatever, and then a massive Apple, and I go, what? Why are you? Where did you get that? I hope you got it for free. And even if you did get it for free, it's sad that you went out into your car and did that.
No, it's 100% the one that you get. Like, I don't know if you still get it.
You used
free
to get
with free with your phone.
Yes,
in the little box, and then you just see it put on a car. Thinking, what the fuck? You can't like Apple that much to.
Yeah.
I want people to think this is an Apple car. Like,
yeah. It'd be great if Apple sued them for it. We don't want anything to do with Mazda.
Nice one.
They got done for libel.
That'd be like that. See the what you call them, Easy Life.
No, what's it?
Do you see that thing, Easy Life? I think they're a band, and they got sued by EasyJet.
Oh, what?
For the name, for having easy, I think.
This
is another thing I've got from the For You section of Twitter.
Okay, yeah, that's where all
fucking trash, man.
You've watched trash. One thing.
That was very American there.
Trash.
That was fucking trash, man. Yeah.
I had an argument with, I think it was Mark Nelson.
Mandela?
Recently.
No.
What? I said what? I went, what? Oh, God, yes. That's it. I got it. Do you remember that Mandela effect, in fairness, when people are always like, oh, God, the Mandela effect? No? Have you heard about this? When people remembered when he died, and then when he actually died, people
Is that when people think something has happened?
Yeah, no? That's already happened, yeah. So when Nelson Mandela died, everyone went, what? I remember him dying years ago. It was like they call it the Mandela effect. Like a lot of people were basically convinced that he had already died.
Okay.
I had that because I was like, I remember killing him. No. What a thing to put out.
I can't even remember how he
Mandela.
Died.
What a place to drop it.
I presume he would have died of... Oh, he would have been old when he died. No, old age.
Yeah, but people were...
See, when really old...
People remember them being freed from jail.
Is that what it was?
His funeral. People thought it was like a funeral, but it
was
in the 90s.
They were basically like Nelson Mandela can only have one big thing happen to him.
Yeah, well,
any big life event, he died.
Well, South Africa, they probably did.
Yeah. Yeah, they really went for it.
They're better now.
Yeah,
maybe. I don't know.
When did he die? A couple of years ago. I remember breaking deaths on stage is very funny. This sounds like I remember doing a gig like 20 minutes after Tom Petty died, right? And I didn't think that a lot of, like, I knew everyone liked Tom Petty, but I didn't think it would be enough.
I'd have been the same. I wouldn't have thought that would have been like...
I didn't think that would have, and I went, fucking Tom Petty.
I still wouldn't make a joke about it.
Well, I was chatting about, I can't remember, it was years ago, and I was making something about, there was a joke about celebrity deaths, and I just went, and even just doing the joke, I was like, well, believe it or not, fucking even like Tom Petty just died, and someone right in the front room went, what? And I was like, I wasn't expecting someone to be so upset about Tom Petty.
Yeah.
She was just like, he's my hero. Like, I've got posters on the wall. And I go, what, Tom Petty? And then, like, I couldn't stop finding, like, that I had completely destroyed this person's evening. Like, she was laughing.
That is
going,
a bit
like,
sad, actually.
She was laughing, but also half crying, going, when did he die? How did he die? I go, I don't know. I just saw it on Twitter like a minute ago. And then she was on it, like, on Twitter or in the front row.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't help, like, laughing, going, like, I'm so sorry. I thought this wouldn't be
a thing.
Big news for people. Like, I know he's massive, but I just didn't expect someone in Dublin to just be like destroyed their whole world, you know?
Fuck's sake. Yeah, we have. I suppose if it was one person and then that's their hero, then
I suppose. And the way I thought about it was like I was devastated when MCA died from the Beastie Boys. I was like, devastated. So if somebody said that, in fairness, if I was in the front row and someone
that's a very specific.
Yeah, if someone went MCA from the Beastie Boys died, I would have been like, what? So that's the way I thought about it in a way. Like, all right, cool, right. I could see how that happens.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
it's a tough one to break.
It is. I can't think of any other. I don't know how we managed to get onto celebrity deaths. On deaths and how
Nelson Mandela.
It was your fault.
Nelson said something. That was it.
Nelson said something about being American. The thing was, would you say? He said it's normal to say lawn.
Lawn.
Like mow your lawn.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say mow your lawn. If someone goes, I'm going to have to mow my lawn, I'm like, all right, calm down there. Fucking, 90210. I'd be like, it sounds really American to me.
Oh, because I said trash man.
Yeah, you said trash.
Yeah.
But do you think mowing your lawn, would you say mow your lawn? You wouldn't?
No, cut your grass.
Cut the grass.
Yeah, I would just say cut the grass.
I'm going to mow the lawn.
And his idea was...
I think mow the lawn is okay.
Yeah, okay. His
doesn't stick out to me as being...
I would say it's mad American. He said, it's called a lawnmower. You call it a lawnmower? And I go, yeah.
Touche.
Yeah, it is slight touche, but I'm with you. It's just cut your grass.
I've started saying elevator.
Shit, I would say elevator now.
Yeah. Nah. Lift.
I would say lift too, but I would never call it. If someone said elevator, and I'm pretty sure I've said it before, I would say lift myself, but I wouldn't call them on it.
I say Glasgow now.
Imagine you Glasgow, you'd be fucking murdered.
As I say, yeah, in Bonaccord you get a real weird mix of people. There's always tables of Americans. Would that be because of the whiskey? Yeah.
It must be. I came in the back door of it, by the way. I accidentally, to find the place, I followed.
So you meant...
I went in the door we went out.
Oh, okay.
I saw the back entrance. I go, God, this is going to be like one of those proper hipstery, like student places with the back door. And then I went in and go, oh, this is nice.
Yeah.
I like the other one, but I completely got the whole thing wrong.
Yeah.
I like that bar.
The guy there, sorry, Paul was saying last weekend a YouTube channel brought all of his patrons in there for a wee day out.
It's the power of YouTube, man.
Well, I'm presuming Patreons, so people were paying to be there.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. We'll have a meetup or whatever.
Yeah.
You have to pay for his.
So if anyone wants to pay to come out with us,
you Google it.
Bank details will be down here.
Yeah.
Set up my Patreon. Trying to think what I could do. Could you have I'll take bids on people who want to be guests.
That's
You can buy your slot on here, and you can, within reason, you can say whatever you want to say. It's on you.
I actually had a thing where we thought it was funny in an NFL podcast. Me and Gareth Watt did. We put in the first season of it. The first time we did it, we go $100 and you can be on the podcast. And 2 people immediately went paid. And I went, no, actually, let's cancel that.
Did you go too low?
No, not too low. I just went, no, that's a terrible idea. This is a shocking idea. In fairness, later found out that they were actually fine. They were normal people. They just had money. But in my head, I go, no, this is going to be a white supremacist, and we're going to be sitting here, and we'd have to put it out because they've also paid you. You couldn't just be like, yeah, that didn't make the cut, because they'd be like, what the fuck did I pay for? And I went, I'm out. So
I think you could, because then if you said to them, look, if you say stuff and I can't put it out, you can get your money back, or well,
you've now convinced me it's a good idea, and I've just lost
I think
$200.
I think it would be a good idea.
I think there's also they were in America.
I'm committing to it. Anyone?
Yeah, you want to, as long as they
Make your
know. I
bids.
don't think we said that. So I was like, one of them was
because
from
the other thing is they're obviously paying because they want it to be on the podcast and for it to be out.
Yeah.
So they're not going to pay, say shit, and then not.
That's
and then
true.
for it never to see the light of day.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. They're paying for the product. I think I panicked.
Or you can only get people who are employed. Who, if they come out and say stuff, they're going to get sacked.
Yeah.
And they're like, you need people with something to lose.
You're basically, we're going to dox. We're going to whoever's coming on. Yeah, we have to have you by the balls.
Yeah, We can't have people.
Idea.
We can't have people coming on that hold the leverage over us. We have to.
We have to have the leverage.
We have to be
over
in control.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, that's a good idea. In fairness, that's actually a great idea. Now, I feel like I fucked it. Back in them days.
Now you know how to do it properly.
Yeah.
And maybe I do.
You got to do it now.
That could be. Don't know if people want to show off and flaunt their money.
You're going to get.
Imagine anyone who's on
Celtic fans.
Anyone who comes on now, if they pay to come on, it's a pretty baller move.
It is,
because people will be watching and thinking, oof,
if you had a little desk here,
they've got money,
and they have to do it in cash. So the whole way through the entire,
or whatever they pay is just stacked around them.
It's stacked around them. Yeah. So anytime they say stuff,
and then upon completion, I just
you just drag it like that. Yeah, you have to get a long table here.
Yeah.
Like you want a massive hand in roulette or something.
That could be that could be an interesting concept.
Yeah, God, yeah, do it. I say do it, especially if they're doing things like they're coming to bars. If they're coming to bars to that's amazing, great. Like I used to be in a big YouTube thing back in the day. It was called Facts, and then it turned into the Try channel. It was like when I started off doing comedy, I was doing it's one of those reaction type things. I would never watch them. It was before. I know they're everywhere now.
So you're watching something and then you'll react to it.
Yeah, well, most of it was actually trying food from different countries and shit. So people from Paraguay would send you in food from Paraguay, and you'd be like, "Oh, this is great," or "This is dreadful."
Oh, so you're getting them sent from people.
Yeah, and they would, or else they would source it themselves. That stuff went fucking mad viral. It's insane how.
What was it called?
It was first called Facts, and then it turned into the Try channel, and the Try channel's still going on. And I know there was a BuzzFeed, and they did the Try Guys, and that's the same type of shit. It's like. Eventually, I left it. I mean, it's mind numbing shit. It's good though. People loved it. People really loved it. The food, I was
plus
there for
the women
food.
trying to get the food in from China never made it.
Exactly. Then he sent it in candles. Then he said their crackers encased in candles, and it's in the back of a violin. They always had like a violin or some shit. They never put it in the border control as well. I seen one with a violin, but they didn't put the violin in a violin case. They put a violin in just a regular case, and you're like, you don't own this violin, or you don't play this violin.
Yeah.
So immediately you're like, check the violin.
Yeah, you don't care for this violin.
Not at all. Yeah.
Violin? Sounds weird now. I've said it a few times.
What's the plural? Is that viola? That's not that.
Violins? Don't know.
Yeah. But it's a lot of that shit. I can't remember my train of thought there. I got lost in violins. I can't remember the fuck I was on about. I went on a mad rant there again.
Your YouTube channel, that was it.
A YouTube channel.
YouTube.
They got that had 800 million views or some shit.
Yeah.
From all around the world. Yeah. I used to get noticed for that more than comedy. Used to grind my gears. They'd be like, "Oh fuck, they'd be like, "Oh, the biscuit guy." That's what I used to be like, biscuits, because a lot of them were eating biscuits from fucking whatever, Seattle. People from Seattle,
What's a Seattle biscuit?
I don't know. I'm just a bad. The one that they always sent me durian fruit. From Thailand or something. The durian fruit. It's the worst.
What fruit?
Durian. It's the worst tasting fucking fruit in the world. It's a common one that people react because it makes people sick. It's horrible. They even make sweets from it. They're like, "Oh, you want some durian fruit sweets?" And I'm like, "No."
I've never even heard. Didn't know that was a thing.
It's a nightmare. Yeah.
I'll know not to have it now.
No, don't. No matter how much they say, you know. I remember Dylan Moran had a joke saying like it's local because it's shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, not for me at all. People get really upset basically about that. You know, they'd be like, "Oh, can you try this local thing?" And I go, "Aye, yeah, it's all right." And they go, "I fucking sent that." And I go, "Oh, well, did you just want a whole video of going, oh."
Yeah, see, I'd always struggle to do like kind of a reviewing thing.
Yeah.
Because I'd always feel under pressure to like speak positively about the thing that someone sent in.
And then I was known as the negative guy.
Nice.
So that's what it is. Nice. I was always the negative guy, man. Like that, you know, because everyone else would be, a lot of people would be very like loving it. I go, no, it's nice. And then I'd be like, that one's dreadful. Oh, fuck that. And they'd be like,
you'd be good at football commentary.
Oh God, yeah.
Just have to be negative.
Oh God, yeah.
That's
real
easy.
I'd be a proper Souness about it.
Yeah. Well, but I should say, look, shout out to G69 for my nice top here.
It is nice, yeah. It's
lovely, yeah.
This part's good.
Just a nice little classy touch.
Yeah. I feel like now I just realized I'm dressed like I am from Donegal. I fucking realized now it's like I'm playing a fucking part. I just looked at it, I'm just about to go out fishing after this or whatever.
Are they called Donegal sweaters? Iron sweaters?
Iron sweaters, yeah. The bigger, they're a bit more, you know, I have one though.
Of course, yeah.
I have one, in fairness, so I can't even.
Winter's coming.
Yeah, fuck me. They set you up for they'd set you up for anything. Have you ever seen a show called Alone?
No.
So it's a show in America. I think there's a Channel 4, I think, have just bought it, trying to do it thing. But it's basically, they drop 10 people in the wilderness in, it's not like Survivor, because that was fake, because there was camera crews around following them. So basically, you win £500,000 if you're the last person standing. So you're dropped with like 4 things, and you have to build like a hut. They drop you in Canada too, where there's like bears and mountain lions around and shit. And you know,
I think I saw a little clip of it before.
It's great. It's so good. But what I'm saying is iron jumpers is what they're missing out on.
Oh, really?
They bring clothes and it's warm, and I go, an iron jumper.
Yeah, all you need is an iron jumper.
An iron jumper will get you through anything. Antarctica. There's an Antarctica
I said
episode.
Sweater there, by the way, as well before.
Sweater.
I said sweater.
You're being caught now.
Sorry, lads.
Yeah. Well, you've been around, in fairness.
They've fucking infiltrated me.
I think I might be wrong about this. This is a real punt. Because I'm Irish, so I know who you are. I watch football. I do.
Yeah.
Did you play years ago for a Polish team called Jagiellonia?
Yeah.
EKS.
Bialystok.
Is that who it is?
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who are fans.
Of Jagiellonia?
They used to work in the hotel I worked in back in the day.
Really? From Bialystok?
Yeah.
Shout out Bialystok.
Yeah, there was loads of them. So I remember when that happened, they were like, we have an Irish player.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? And I was
not only an Ulster.
Yeah. And they were mad fans. I really reckon the fans in them. Or maybe they're just bullshitting.
There was a time when I was playing in Poland, and I'd go home during the summer, and I remember like being out in Dublin with my friends.
Yeah.
And Polish bar staff, I got recognized more from any Irish people.
Polish bar staff?
Yeah, bizarre.
They think they're proper serious. Not that fucking Scotland doesn't either, but but they were like, I remember Jagiellonia. I remember always the stickers were on all the lockers and stuff.
I thought you were going to say their cars.
Yeah, at the back of the cars. Yeah, I reckon they had it in the cars. I mean, when was this though? I think I knew them. I was already doing comedy full time, so I'd left the hotel. I just stayed in contact with those people. And I remember what year was it about?
2017, I think.
Okay, so yeah, so I had left. So I'd left about 2015, the hotel where they were all in, but I was still in contact with them. That's what I had in my head, and then they got an Irish player.
I think it's 2017.
Around that,
way off.
Yeah, that could have been. That was around that's what I had in my head. So yeah, there you go.
Funny how things work out.
That's
fucking. How long is that, Paul? Wow.
Fucking hell, flowing.
That's a long one.
How long do you? So we always, anytime I do my podcast, I've done like, we've had ones where like, oh fucking camera's running out. So we've done like 45.
Yeah.
And like the last one was an hour and 20. I try
I'd
to keep it around.
I'd say the longest was about an hour and 15 or something.
Yeah.
Maybe. And then the shortest,
I
45.
can
yeah.
never get people to do like 3.5 hour ones. Have you ever seen like? Have you? How do,
Scottish ones,
Yeah.
obviously. Sorry.
Podcast, I've done like 3-4 hours.
how the fuck do you do it?
You don't realise that you're doing it.
That's actually probably a good one. Eventually just ends up you in your sitting room and you forget there's
I've thought a good idea for a podcast would be market yourself as a podcast to put you to sleep,
oh god damn, they would
because
be.
people will just put it on and your like numbers will be
Yeah, absolutely through
retention rate will be 100%.
the roof. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
People will
that's
put
an
it
amazing
on
idea.
and watch the whole show. Don't care. At the end of the day, you can say, "Look, here's my numbers."
Yeah. That's fucking that's gold.
Yeah, you can be like, I mean, I'm not insulted if
You're-
people watch it or not, but it's got these views. So
If you really wanted to be, you'd have to be top heavy. The first, whatever you really wanted to say that you wanted people had to be in the first
yeah,
7 minutes.
yeah. I think I could put on my most, not that I might need to make much effort, but my most calming, monotone voice and just
Yeah.
speak for a good 15-20 minutes, nice and slowly. You're relaxing. You're feeling very sleepy now.
Yeah. I used to have used to be, because I'm monotone. You're monotone. This is we're doing a monotone.
I know, I probably should have brought a bit more charisma to my voice
I
today.
think there's not much you can do. Like,
Nah, actually, from the outset, we said negative, so we're
yeah. It's somber,
depressing,
depressing. It's two lads just.
thought provoking.
I used to always, I think that adds to my comedy when I'm doing dark. They're always like, and I used to be way faster. I had to slow down, not because of Scotland or comedy. I had to slow down because people in Dublin hadn't. When I first came to Dublin, they were like, slow the fuck down.
Yeah, it's probably the same Glasgow.
I feel like
anywhere else.
Yeah. I mean, if I drink in Glasgow, in fairness, it comes back very quickly. Because
Every time I come back from being home, Jodie will always be like, "Oh, you sound really Irish now."
Yeah.
Like,
It would
Being around with your
happen every
friends and
time.
stuff.
Yeah.
Either that or American.
Glasgow, yeah. Fucking yeah. Mowing the lawn. Now Glasgow always. Glasgow tend to get it because they also use a lot of words that we would kind of, I don't know if it's the same, probably the same.
Sorry, I have to interrupt you.
Yeah.
You might have picked up on this. Remember, Paul, I was trying to describe the thing about saying when you say hour, you put like a W in front of it. Wower. Like, I remembered an example. The fitness coach at Dundee one day was saying like about doing stretching. He's from Glasgow and he was like, right, let's get our stretching done.
Okay, yeah.
Have you ever noticed that?
I kind of sometimes, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. It's like it would only work. They wouldn't say it if that was the first word in the sentence.
No, yeah.
It would just be.
And then I heard David Martindale doing an interview yesterday or something, and it was like he was describing our as the Scottish game. I think he was saying we don't do ourselves justice, or we don't something along those lines.
Yeah.
And he said ourselves, or not
ourselves.
as strong as that or pronounced as that, but it
slips in there. You catch it.
It's a very it's a very Glaswegian thing.
If you in Glasgow, like
shout out Glaswegians.
Shout out to Glasgow. Shout out Glaswegians. Great comedy. Best comedy crowds in the world. A lot of people. Yeah, genuinely. Glasgow's like if they hate you, they'll hate you. But if they love you, they go right. They get right behind you. The comedy, and it's a weird mix in Glasgow because Glasgow's got that thing where, if you get like real great crowds, like cities, I would say, kind of like back home that have like a lot of working class backgrounds, but basically great audiences.
Yeah.
But they also, in other parts of, say, even the UK, they're not comedy literate. But Glasgow's they've had like some of the best comedians in the world always, and they have a constant churning of things. So they also know a lot about comedy. It's a perfect mixture.
They probably want to be known for good comedy.
They definitely do. Yeah.
It's like they want to be a good crowd to be
Yeah.
we get this comedy, or like,
I mean, I live in
we
Edinburgh, and
understand
they're not as good. You know.
yeah, I'll still shout out Edinburgh.
No, I love Edinburgh. I won't fucking leave Scotland. I love Scotland so much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just not as good as Glasgow.
Yeah, for comedy, the crowds are proper.
If Glasgow had the beauty of Edinburgh city,
Yeah,
it would be perfect.
we nailed
I
it.
could
Maybe in the future it's going to be one of those. Everything's
merge
going to it'll connect.
a mega city.
Mega
just-
city will connect in the middle. But then it's just going to be. Yeah, I mean, like in fairness, if I do gigs in Edinburgh, it's mostly just it's half Scottish people and half English. There's a lot of English people and it's a lot of London people.
in Edinburgh.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then the Irish tend to come this side.
yeah.
Apart from me, I'm a little traitor.
Well, I didn't want to say.
You didn't want to say. I didn't want to say, but
That's probably
adequate time.
people are asleep by now. So
yeah. We got the retention
they're in
numbers.
their dream, REM sleep. Brilliant. No, thank you very much for
Thank you,
coming,
it was
Ryan.
great. Yeah, I loved it.
Enjoyed that. Flew in.
Yeah, it flew in. Yeah,
Good quick
absolutely.
little,
Yeah. It tends to be a good one.
yeah.
It's not, usually when you're doing a podcast, like, how long is that? And you're like, oh, that was 14 minutes. You fucking serious?
I know. No. Thank you very much.
Great
Appreciate
to be
you
here.
making the trip over.
No, yeah, it's
Paul,
easy.
Thank you very much as always. And thanks everyone for the next episodes could be amazing for a whole host of reasons. I'm not
Yeah.
sure yet,
Okay,
but
right.
it could be.
There's something there. There's a catch.
I'm cooking up something. Cooking up something.
Something's in the pan.
So yeah, make sure like, subscribe, comment, share with a friend.
Yeah.
As I say, if you like it, share with a friend. If you don't like it,
Shut up.
share with an enemy.
Yes.
Share with an enemy.
Yes.
But yeah, thanks everyone,
Yeah.
and see you next time.